Hello, welcome to a lesson on adding and subtracting fractions. We'll be dealing with negative and positive fractions, and we will need a common denominator. Let's start with number one, and let me explain to you what that means, okay? So for number one, we want to add 3 over 8 plus 1 over 2. Now, you can't add these two fractions because the denominators are not the same, meaning 8 and 2 are not the same number. So therefore, you can't add anything on there. Let me explain what that means, okay? For example, we can use the same two numbers again, which is 3 over 8 and 1 over 2. Okay, so 3 over 8, let's just say that you have a pizza that's cut into 8 slices and you still got 3 slices on that pizza. That's 3 over 8. The second pizza, it's cut into 2 slices and you want to add the 1 slice out of the 2. Now, a lot of students will go, oh, that's the same thing as having 4 slices. Now, how is that even correct? When you look at it, if you're really hungry, wouldn't this slice means a lot more to you because you want to eat the bigger slice versus these 3 slices there, okay? So you can't add these two unless you find a common denominator, meaning that they have to have the same amount of slices from the very beginning. So by looking at these two pizza here, I realize that the one good thing about pizza is that you can slice them up. All right, so I actually can make, now I know this one has 2 slices from the original. I can actually make this into 8 slices. You see, this one has 8 slices. The original problem is down here. This is your denominator. This is how many slices you start out with. This one starts off with 8 slices. This one starts off with 2. So to go from 2 to 8, I go, wait, if I just multiply this by 4, that means I can also get 8 slices. All right, because you want to get the same amount. So, okay, so I'm going to make this into 8 equal slices just like this guy. So you go, okay, I'm going to cut this in half. That gives me 4 slices. And I'm going to cut them in half also like this. And then like this. And then guess what? And now I have 8 slices. Now when you do that, you also have more than just one pizza slice from the original. So what you need to do is you need to multiply the top by 4 also. And what you get actually is 4 out of 8. Meaning that now you have 4 slices out of 8 total. All right, guess what? Now they have the same denominator. You see 8 and 8. You just change this one from 2 slices to 8 slices. And now you not only have 1 slice of pizza, now you have a total of 4 slices of pizza. Now you can combine those 2 pizzas now since they have the same size. You can actually tell people, oh, 3 and 4. I have 7, not 4, 7 slices. And you always have to write down how many slices in the original, which is a denominator. So your answer is actually 7 out of 8 slices. It's sort of like taking these 3 slices and putting them here. You will have 7 and 1 is missing. That means you don't have a full pizza. All right, so that's why you always need a common denominator, because you can't just add the 3 and the 1. That wouldn't make any sense because this slice is so much bigger. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, again, you can always do these problems on your own. Pause and then go back and watch the video and see if they're correct. Okay, so again, find a common denominator. We already did this one. Let me show you how to do that one again. This one I'll leave it alone because I can multiply this by 4 to get a common denominator. So I'm gonna write the equal sign here. I'm gonna rewrite it. Always show your work, please. 3 over 8 plus 4 over 8. And then I always like to write my original slice first, the denominator first. I don't have to worry about that. And then I have 7 over 8 is my total. Okay, same thing for number 2. Now that one comes with a negative. We just have to deal with negative, thinking about, did you win more, did you lose more? Okay, so let me take a look. I can't think of a number that they both can easily turn into, so I'm going to multiply by the other number. Times 5 times 5 times 4 times 4 equal sign a negative 16 over 20 plus 15 over 20. Again, always write my denominator first. Now let's go back and look. It says a negative, so think about winning and losing. And it looks like I lost more than I win. Again, I circle, so it's visually easier to see the negative sign, okay? So I lost more than I win, and I lost 1 more. And that's negative 1. All right, let's go ahead and do number 3. And number 3, so let's take a look. Think of a number that 12 and 8 can turn into. How many times can you cut them, the slices, so they all can turn into, I'm thinking about 24. Okay, so if I multiply this by 3 times 3 times 2 times 2, that will give me 6 over 24 minus 9 over 24. Again, I'm going to rewrite my denominator first. Okay, and then let's take a look. Now again, treat this minus sign like losing, or again, you have $6 in your bank and then you're going to subtract 9. Just circle it, makes it so much easier. Okay, I lose more than I win. That will give me 3. All right, I'm going to reduce that. All right, divide by 3, divide by 3. You always need to reduce if you can. The other two problems we couldn't reduce, so we're done. So divide by 3 gives me negative 1 over 8. All right, my next problem, number 4. Now, when you see a mixed number, change it right away. So here's how you change the mixed number. All you have to do is just multiply the bottom, then add, so multiply and add. Do it in your head. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5 over 3 minus 1 over 5. So that's the first thing you want to do. You always want to make sure you deal with an improper number first, okay? Find a common denominator and multiply by the other number. So I'm going to have 25 over 15 minus 3 over 15. Write the 15 first, okay? And I realize that I won 25, I lose 3. You just leave it as 22. Now, you can make it back into a mixed number. Oh, 15 can go into 22 one time, with the remainder is 7. So 1 and 7 over 15. But however, if you can't reduce, you can always leave it as a improper number. I'm okay with that, all right? Let's move on. We have 2 more problems and then we're done. Let's go ahead and do number 5. Again, you can always pause and do this problem yourself first. But anyway, I see 2 mixed numbers. Let's change it right away. When you change it, ignore the negative. 2 times 2 plus 1, that would give me 5 over 2. That's a negative. Plus another negative. 2 times 6 is 12. Plus 1 is 13 over 6. I can see that 2 can turn into 3 by finding a common denominator of 6 by multiplying by 3. What I have now is negative 15 over 6. Positive negative 13 over 6. I didn't do anything here because I want to keep that denominator as a 6, so I left it alone, okay? So go ahead and circle my negatives, and what I have is I lost 15, I lost 13. That means I'm going to add those two. That gives me negative 28 over 6, okay? I'm going to reduce that, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by, let's see here, I could divide by 2, divide by 2. And my final answer is going to be right down here, negative 14. Now again, you can make it into a mixed number. Okay, you can say, oh, 3 can go into 14, how many times, and so forth. But you don't have to. As long as you reduce it, you can leave it as an improper number. Okay, number 6. To make a whole number into a fraction, just put it over 1. I'm going to multiply this by 8 to find a common denominator. Rewrite it 3 over 8 minus 40 over 8. I'm going to have... write the denominator first, and what I have is I lost 40 and I won 3. I get negative 37, okay? And that's my final answer. You could just leave it like that, all right? Number 7, I gotta convert this one into a 1, and this one I have to multiply, plus 1, so 3 plus 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4, so what I have is negative 12 over 1, plus that gives me 4 over 3. Find a common denominator. This one's easy, just multiply by 3. That would give me of a negative 36 over 3 plus 4 over 3. Write the 3 first. Let's have a common denominator now. And you realize that you lose more than you win. That gives me negative 32 over 3. I can't reduce. I can't divide anything at the same time. So I am done. That's what reduce is, okay? Number 8, find a denominator of 6 and 8. You could do 6. You could do 8 and 8 and 6 and 6, sure. I'm thinking, let's see here, 24 might be easier, so times 3. Times 3, there's always a smaller number, so the bottom number can turn into 24, and that's your goal, okay? So it gives me negative 20 over 24 minus 3 over 24. All right, I have lose 20. Again, that's a minus, I know, but you treat it like losing or taking it away, same thing. So I'm gonna circle that. It makes my life easier just by looking at that. I write the 24 first, and it looks like I lost 23. All right, and that is my final answer, and that's my final problem. And thank you, that's it.